So, when I was growing up in the 70s and the early 80s, life was generally more affordable.
Mhm.
Housing was more affordable, healthcare was more affordable, higher education was more affordable. There was slack in the system. So, parents like mine could be relatively assured that even with some setbacks, even with a B minus in AP calculus, like I got my senior year, that most likely I'd be able to replicate my childhood as an adult, if not do even better than my own
Mhm.
parents did. That's always been the American dream, to not only do as well as your parents, but to exceed them.
Absolutely.
And we modern parents are facing a different economic reality. We are seeing the first generation, the millennials, who on average are not doing as well as their parents. We are feeling the crush of the middle class. We are absorbing the hyper competition that's been ushered in with globalization.
Mhm.
And it's always been the job of a parent to raise a kid to thrive when we're no longer around, but never has that future felt so uncertain. We don't know what something like half the jobs are going to be when our kids are out in the job market.
Yeah.
AI is now on the scene, disrupting everything. So, what I heard over and over again from the parents was not necessarily this explicitly, but what they were saying to me was that they were betting big, that early childhood success, getting their kids into a quote unquote good college, they hoped would act as a kind of life vest
Yeah.
in a sea of economic uncertainty. But unfortunately, what I was finding and what national policy reports and other research was finding was that this pressure that's being put on our kids in order to protect them, right? In order to put on that safety vest is drowning too many of the kids we're trying to protect. Now, I want to just underscore that this is not a book that blames parents. Part of why I wrote this book was because I was tired of the narrative that modern parents today just want a bumper sticker. We just want to live through our kids. We're all fixated on status. I'm sure that's true of some parents, but what I've heard, I surveyed 6,500 parents. I interviewed hundreds of families for this book. There was something much deeper at play. What I was hearing in the parents was that, again, they weren't saying this explicitly, but that they felt, whereas my parents felt like they wanted to set me up for success, modern parents today feel like we need to make our kids a success.
Mm.
And that is because we are sensing fewer and fewer guarantees for our kids, fewer and fewer social safety nets. So, what this intensive parenting is that we're all being accused of and fingers pointing at us, what that really is, according to sociologists, is that we individual parents are weaving safety nets for each one of our kids. That is what intensive parenting is. It
I
is
couldn't
not,
agree more.
right?
I feel like we're being blamed for the actual perceived necessary response for the world our kids live in.
That is exactly right. I'd love to read you. So I conducted a survey with the help of a researcher at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. And this was about getting parents' reactions and deep feelings about achievement. And he said to me, in order for us to really see patterns, we're going to need at least 1,000 respondents. But within a few days, over 6,500 parents had filled out the survey. It went viral. And so I asked parents how much they agreed or disagreed with statements like, others think that my children's academic success is a reflection of my parenting. 83%.
100%. Yeah, I would be like 100 the moms I know in my community.
And I don't think that my parents felt like it was their responsibility to make me a success.
Yep.
I think they wanted me to do well, they wanted me to achieve, but it was an assumption that we no longer feel like we can make.